Hello, my name is Stephen Wright and welcome to Career Mentor, strategies for your career success. So in this video, we'd like to discuss whether or not the job that you're interviewing for is in fact real. What do I mean by that? Well, I've come across a situation 3 times now in the last 18 months with people who I know, and indeed in one case somebody who became a client. And it's frustrating when you are interviewing, but the job turns out not to be real. So let me give you an example. I had a client who came to me in a state of frustration because he'd spent 3 months interviewing for a job that he discovered didn't actually exist. What do I mean? He'd met a former colleague who'd said to him, "You'd be really great in our company. Come and meet the chairman and I can organise that." Well, it was a great firm and a fantastic brand, so my client enthusiastically hopped on a plane to go and meet the chairman. The chairman was in a creative and expansive mood and came up with 3 jobs that he thought might be possibilities for my client and said, "You must come back and meet the CEO." 4 weeks passed before he got the next communication, which was come back, meet the chairman briefly and then meet with the CEO, and that's exactly what he did. On meeting the CEO, he only had 30 minutes with him and the CEO seemed somewhat unfocused and a little distracted. Long story short, the process went on for another 3 months and eventually they came up with an offer which was a little bit derisory insofar as they're saying, "We'll take you on a trial basis and it will be for a roving brief." Not exactly what he wanted. So how do you know if, when you're going through an interview process, that the job you're interviewing for is actually real? Well, there may be some indicator flags that can help. Let me go through them. The first indicator is that if you are part of a formal job process, then it is a real job. And you'll know that you're part of a job process because there will be a written job specification, HR will be involved, senior directors of the company will be interviewing, and there'll be competitor candidates for the role. If, however, you're part of a looser, more ad hoc and informal process, then maybe that might be the first indication. That is not to say that some great jobs can't come from looser exploratory discussions, but at least you know that that's certainly a possibility. The second is how vague the role remains. So if it is not a real job, the role that started off vague and ill-defined will remain so. If, however, the role then becomes quickly sharply defined, there's a tightly written brief, there's specific results which will drive the business forward, and clearly you're qualified to deliver, then that is an indicator that this job has become real. The next flag is whether or not there is buy-in. If the senior stakeholders in the business lack buy-in or are not showing genuine enthusiasm for the role, that may be a danger sign. And finally, gaps. If there are long gaps in communication, then there might be a couple of reasons for that. Firstly, it may be that they have a lot of candidates to meet, and maybe their processes for following up with the candidates in play are not that slick. If, on the other hand, there are gaps in communication, but there is no sense of urgency about what's going on, that again may be a danger sign. So if you're part of an ad hoc or informal job process, just keep an eye on those flags and they might help you know where you stand. I hope you found that useful. For more valuable information, please go to www.careermentor.co.uk. Thank you.